Well, good morning. It's Randy T-Bird out here in Arizona on a post-monsoon day. We had a heck of a storm last night. The wall of dust and the wind, and it rained pretty much over the whole valley. Had localized flooding in some places. But it's nice out this morning. The air is cool. I think it feels like it's under 80 degrees. So it feels really nice this morning. It's probably going to be a humid mofo later today, but it is feeling pretty good right now. You can see it's green, very green everywhere you go. So it's like 7 in the morning, and I wanted to catch whatever coolness was existing in the air on this July 31st. So it's been pretty awesome so far. So I wanted to share my thoughts about the first couple weeks of ownership of my 2022 Heritage 114 Classic, or Heritage Classic 114 to get it right. So far it feels good. It's everything I expected and everything that I remembered from the one that I got off of here 2 years plus ago, and I'm really enjoying having this bike. It just it's so smooth and so comfortable. The suspension has the full travel suspension versus the cut down suspension for the Street Bob had, and it seems to be valved differently because it's a much more compliant ride. It doesn't beat the hell out of you. I mean, if you hit a big square edge expansion joint or something, you still feel it, but not as much. And this bike is probably 70 to 80 pounds heavier than the Street Bob, but it carries its weight well. You don't really feel it. The weight is carried low, and even backing it up in a car park, as you guys in England call it, we call it a parking lot. It's easy to move around. The seat is low. I did change the seat from the stock seat to the Sundowner Solo, which fits on with the stock pillion or rider passenger seat, and looks right, and it's a very, very comfortable seat. It's just very supportive. It just cradles you. It's really nice. It's got great power. It's still in the break-in period, of course, so the transmission is a little stiff. I think the clutch needs to be adjusted. I'm having a little difficulty finding neutral when it's hot, so I'm thinking probably just an adjustment on the clutch, because I had no such issues with the Street Bob. It was a very slick transmission, and it's not bad by any means. It's just a little stiff, stiffer than I'm used to. So I'm sure it's going to break in. So I've never had a bad 6-speed transmission, so it's all been good. I did have, my last Heritage, it was infuriatingly hard to find neutral when it was warm. So it could be a trait, but considering the transmission is the same across the range. Is it Heritage? The transmission is the same across the whole range. I don't imagine that there's any real difference between models as far as anything else, ratios or anything. The cruise drive transmission is a proven design. Anyway, I can figure it out. It's just breaking in, I'm sure. See what else? I'm kind of liking the windshield in the early going. I can ride with my visor open on my helmet. Literally at 80 miles an hour, I get no buffeting at all. It's pretty nice. I can duck down a little bit. I can see through the windshield okay. I can see over it. I did have a batwing fairing that I had put on my my last Heritage, which worked really, really well, but I'm not sure I'm going to go that way this time. I kind of like the style. And the feel that you know, with the detachable windshield, detachable saddlebags, I could go to an open wind cruiser, you know, still Americana style motorcycle in just a few minutes. The saddlebags come off real easy, and the windshield comes off. It's detachable. Takes just a minute or so to do. But you know, I don't know, I'm kind of getting used to the weather protection, the wind protection now, so it's nice. Let me see what else is new. I did change to a black gas cap, put my little Willie G skull there on the dash. Always, it's my good luck charm. I put a set of Vance & Hines Eliminator 300 mufflers on it to get some sound out of it, and it sounds good. It really does, and I don't know if it really enhances power at all. It's hard to tell, but I'm not really throttling it up here in the break-in period, so we'll see. It's got a decent bark to it. It's not insanely loud, like say a Reinhardt or something like that, but it's got a good sound to it. It's been really good. This bike handles really well. It's not, you know, what you would consider a fast turning motorcycle or flickable, but it just has an easy feel to it. The 16-inch wheels hold the road good. You don't get wiggle from the rain grooves or the other imperfections in the road, which we have a lot of out here. You know, it's no road racer, I'm sure, but it just feels really comfortable. It soaks up the bumps so much better than the Street Bob did. The Street Bob was rough, to be honest about it. It was a very rough riding motorcycle. So this is just very smooth feeling. I haven't even adjusted the shock yet. I checked the preload when I first got it home. The guy had a dual sport. Looks like he's headed for the sticks. You know, I had just to diverge for a second here. I had a little Suzuki 250 that was street legal, a DR 250, and that bike was flat out at 65, 67 miles an hour, and you could ride it on the freeway. You stayed to the right, but it had no power and was tacking about 8,000 RPM at that speed. So it was a little sketchy to ride on the road. Plus, with the knobbies and stuff, the tires howled and it squirmed and moved around, and wasn't confidence inspiring. It had a whole different personality in the dirt. But now I just having done it a couple times, I'm like, nah, I'm not taking this thing out on the freeway anymore. It was okay around, you know, less than 40 mile an hour city streets, still had enough power. But when you were up in the upper rev range, it had nothing to give. You couldn't even pass anybody that was going, say, 50 or 55. All you do is make the motor louder, and it just had no acceleration at that speed. But anyway, just thinking of that, seeing that guy on the dual sport hugging the right lane there made me think of that. Back to the handling of the Heritage. Just like I said, with the big wheels and stuff, it just hugs the road, and it's just very confident feeling. It doesn't bounce or twitch or squirm. It's just very comfortable. The bike has some different finishes on it than the older ones. They used to have gloss black motor covers. These are wrinkle black, and actually they look pretty good. The exhaust system has black heat shields on it, which I could not get black mufflers for this bike, so I'm not sure what I'm going to do. So I got chrome mufflers and black heat shields. I'm kind of looking around if anybody knows of any for sale or would like to, you know, give me to the cause. I'll be definitely happy to pay for shipping or throw a few bucks your way. I'm looking for the chrome heat shields. I might just change them over for now. You know, if the whole exhaust system was going to be black, I'd stay with the black heat shields. You know, it's not something that I need to do right away, but it's in my plans for the bike. As far as riding position on this bike, the rider triangle is just about perfect for me. The mini apes or the buckhorns, they sweep back and they have a nice bend back to them. They don't have the more straight out riding position that the handlebars on the Street Bob had. They were about the same height, but they were straight out, more just keep your arms straight. This just kind of comes back to meet you. The floorboards are really nice. You can move around. I've got short legs and I've always had issues with forward controls, but this bike seems to fit just fine. It's a bit of a stretch for the shifter. It's not that bad, but the brake is right there and works really well. And I can move my feet around. I can even move just the balls of my feet onto the back part of the floorboards, and it's almost like for mid controls, or I can stretch them all out. You know, when you're riding and you can move around, it moves your weight distribution just a little bit. So, you know, I think on a longer ride this thing would be really good, and I'm hoping to do that here sometime soon. Well, I see my windshield is catching a lot of bugs, and a lot of them out there today after the rain. We got cloud cover this morning, which ought to keep it pretty nice out here for a while till that burns off. There's supposed to be a chance of rain literally every day for the next week or so. Now, but the desert is greening up. It is looking good. It looks like it had some rain out here too. There's still rain in the rumble strips, some water in the rumble strips on the side of the road. Out here in Arizona, they've got these serrated corduroy looking things on the road. If you drift off the side of the road, it makes a hell of a racket in your tires and lets you know that you are drifting. And plus they got reflectors on the center lines of the road. If you hit those, it's you definitely also know that you're drifting out of your lane. Anyway, let me see what else about the Heritage. I love having the saddlebags. They're one-touch saddlebags lids. They're a plastic tub with a vinyl covering over it, like made out of the same material that your that your seats have. Maybe a little tougher. Love having the saddlebags. It just gives you a place to store things without having to tie things on or unzip bags or anything like that. All in all, a very comfortable bike, and I would highly recommend it. You know, if you want a bike that you could tour on and just be comfortable without the extra 200 pounds of the full touring bikes. Closest thing to this bike, I imagine, would be in the touring range would be the Road King, and Road King is 830 pounds, so it's about 150 pounds more than this bike. Having had a Road King, a 17, supremely comfortable bike, but just a very large motorcycle. I just don't like the really large bikes. You know, to me, and I've owned them, and yes, they have their merits, but this is just not me. I like a more nimble bike, and while again this is no road racer, it'll still take the curves, and it is very light handling for a bike that's 700 pounds. So 703 pounds, I'm told. So at any rate, I'm out for a ride this morning. I'll probably do a little bit more a little bit later, and there's a wild horse over there. Anyway, man, I'm easily distracted this morning. Anyway, this is Randy T-Bird. I'll be back later. Hey, it's Randy. I'm back. I'm just gonna further on up the road here. Yeah, it's a song my band plays. Anyway, just gonna run through some curves here and up in the foothills, and see how she does. I already know she's gonna do just fine, but we'll just see what it's like here. And the extra benefit is get to see some amazing scenery. 70 here through some curves. I like a little bit more RPM through the curves, so get more of that gyroscopic effect. Anyway, here it's no wiggles, no wobbles, just very steady. You know, years ago I didn't think I'd like a bike with 16-inch wheels front and rear, but I've really come to like the stability and the feeling of that. Having had the rain last night, you do have to watch for rocks on the road here because they do come down off of these hillsides when it rains. I've been caught in some rain showers up here, and it's downright sketchy up here in the foothills. I mean, it pours and the water comes off of these hillsides like waterfalls. This is a beautiful valley up here. I always like this area. Anyway, I'm still running about 70, and this feels very stable, very comfortable. If you're worried about the weight and the bulk of this motorcycle, I wouldn't worry, because it's still that same Softail chassis that's in use from all the different models, from the Softail Standard, the Lowrider, Lowrider S, Lowrider ST. Pretty much all of the models use this chassis, so it's a very nimble, very stable chassis. The redesign in 2018, that when they changed over from the Dynas, really made a difference. I was a naysayer in the beginning because I was a Dyna guy, but wow, what a great thing. And this has the full travel suspension, basically the same shock that the Lowrider ST and the new Lowrider S have, which the extra travel. So it's got like a little more than 4 inches of shock travel, which really makes a huge difference over the models with the shorter shocks. Just that extra. I don't know if the valving is different internally, but I know they work really well. No exception here. Skeet wash. A little bit of water in the wash, but a little bit of wet sand anyway. Alright, this is the Great American Trail turnoff here. I've had some video there before. And the saguaros majestically out here in the desert, just a forest of them, beautiful. The symbol of Arizona. It's on our license plates, or at least it used to be, I don't remember now. The foothills here, the mountains go up to probably anywhere from 4,500 feet to 7,500, 7,700 feet up here. This 114 motor is just eating up the hill, no big deal at all, no lugging, no need to downshift to get, and just roll on in 6th gear and immediately up to almost 80 miles an hour. So very nice. Anyway, this is Randy T-Bird, and I'm going to cut this off now and continue my ride for the day. But thank you for subscribing. Thank you for watching my videos. If you haven't subscribed, please do. I sure appreciate it. We're working on getting our way to 1,000, and maybe getting a few bucks from YouTube for people that watch my videos. It'll help me defray the expense of all this camera gear that I bought. And I don't really do it for the money, but a check for 20 bucks a month would be nice. I'll take that. Anyway, this is Randy T-Bird out here in Arizona. We'll talk to you later.